Hello, welcome to Dumb Girls Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today, we're reviewing another Friday the 13th movie. This time, we're reviewing Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, which came out in 1988. It's directed by John Carl Buechler. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he's a makeup artist and producer and screenwriter. He worked on films like Deep Freeze 2002, The Dungeon Master 1984, Troll 1986, Cellar Dweller 1988, and Ghoulies 3, which I haven't seen the Ghoulies movies, but I hear they're good. And the movie stars Lar Park Lincoln as Tina Shepard, Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees, which I think this is his first movie as Jason Voorhees. He's considered a favorite of the Friday the 13th series, and he also played, I think, the slasher killer in the Hatchet film series, and he also played the dad in like the second one, if I'm not mistaken. You have Kevin Spirtas as Nick, Terry Kiser as Dr. Cruz, and Susan Blue as Mrs. Amanda Shepard, and Elizabeth Kyton as Robin. And you have music by Howard Manfredini and Fred Mullen. So this Friday the 13th was a fucking weird one to say the least. Holy shit. The movie, I'm not sure if the movie took some inspiration from movies like Carrie and what was the other one? Firestarter. But yeah, this movie, the main plot point in the film is that the main character for this film, Tina Shepard, is a psychic. When she was a kid, and she grew up in Crystal Lake, which in this film it's called Crystal Lake, which was weird since the last film the town changed its name to Forest Green, and you had like characters who grew like teenage characters in the last film who grew up there that didn't even fucking know that the place used to be called Crystal Lake. So I thought that was, a bit of a plot hole. I could be wrong on that, but yeah. And the movie starts off with her as a little girl. Her dad was drunk, yelling at his wife. She runs out. There's a dock behind their house. She gets into a boat and starts to drive off in the motorboat. Her dad starts screaming at her to come back to the house while he's on the dock, and she starts screaming, "I hate you! I want you to die!" And that's when her psychic powers first manifest, and she kills her dad. Years later, she's a teenager. She's back at Camp Crystal Lake. Her mother has her start seeing this doctor, Dr. Cruz, who's supposed to be helping her, but obviously is only interested in documenting her psychic powers, which he constantly keeps her stressed out and agitated because that fuels her psychic powers, which her psychic powers in the film are telekinesis. At one point you saw her do what's it called? Kinesis? I can't remember. Pyro something. Which that could have just been telekinesis because she lit like matches on fire, which that could have been telekinesis, whatever. And she has psychic visions of characters who are going to die. While she's staying at her old house next door, in a cabin, a bunch of teenagers are waiting. I think they're teenagers, by the way. Are waiting for their friend to show up, called Michael, because they have a surprise birthday party for him. But guess what? Not Michael Myers, sorry. Jason Voorhees is back, and he's a zombie, and kills Michael and his girlfriend. Which the kills in the first half of the movie were pretty cool, and they actually showed the kills, right? Where that last film, they they like cut the killing shots or edit them out. Here, the first half has you know Jason killing people, and then in the second half, you know, there are little edits right at the moment of impact when he kills people, which I thought was fucking weird, right? A little weird. Also, Jason's look for this movie I thought was really cool, but doesn't make sense. Because, like, over his arms and his back, you can see, like, the skeletal, his skeletal structure. But he's like, Kane Hodder is a pretty thick dude, right? Pretty big, muscle-bound dude, so it kind of, like, it doesn't make sense that, like, you know, like, the bones would be that exposed, but he would look, you know, so thick, right? It just looks like he's wearing, like, his bones are on the outside of his fucking body, right? Like armor or some shit. Which, you know, obviously that's not what they were going for, but that's what it looked like in the movie, right? Also, part of his face, you can see his exposed jaw, which I thought was pretty cool. And you even see him without the mask in the movie, and he looks like a pretty cool zombie. So I thought Jason, for a zombie, he breathes a lot. He takes pretty big, deep breaths, which I thought, would a zombie need to breathe that much? But that could have been just, you know, because I watched a zombie movie earlier this week where, like, the zombies could hold their breath for a very long time. So that could be, that could just be that screwing me up, right? But yeah, the main plot is basically, Tina Shepard dealing with her powers while like getting a romance on with this guy Nick, and you know, there's also a subplot where, like, you know, Tina, there's like a love triangle thing going on where, like, you know, there's this rich bitch called Melissa who really wants to have sex with Nick, but Nick doesn't like her. He's into Tina, so Melissa tries to make Nick jealous by, you know, having sex with the writer nerd character in the film, who's constantly like shouting out his story, his like retarded B-movie story ideas to everybody, right? Which, like, most of the characters in this film have, like, no character at all, really, except for, like, you know, our main, like, you know, Tina, Nick, Dr. Cruz, what's his name, Ben, I think was, no, Ben was the black guy. Fuck, who was the writer character? Oh, Eddie, right, Eddie. And then there was this other couple in the movie where, like, this rich dude, well, you can tell he's rich because he wears his sweater around his neck. It's like hanging out with this like slutty blonde girl. And he's like, "Why are you dating me?" She's like, "Oh, because of the size of your wallet." And, like, you know, goes to strip off into the lake while he follows, and he gets immediately killed by Jason. Which this movie has a lot more nudity than the last film. Not a lot, but, like, you know, like, compared to the last film, loads more. And there's, like, a chick in the film with, like, big natural breasts, which you see them, like, a couple times throughout the film for some reason. Yeah, like, I think there's only one girl in the that's like, no, there's like two girls you see naked in the film. Just letting you guys know, in case you're against, like, nudity in films. Oh, that's sexist. Just letting you know. Right. Yeah. So the movie. I thought a lot of the characters were boring, one-dimensional, but, like, the final act of the film really, like, sold the film, right? Because the movie is just, like, you know, the movie is basically like a jerk-off slasher film until the final act of the movie, where you get to see our psychic character fight Jason, right? And that the fight goes from like inside the house to the basement to the outside into like the little lake area, right? So I thought like you got like a free stage boss fight in this fucking film with the psychic character, her boyfriend versus Jason, which I thought was really cool. And like the way they killed Jason in the film, it was like the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. It came out of fucking nowhere. Like somehow, spoiler alert, but like somehow she summons. At first, like you see the water start to bubble, so I thought, oh, she was gonna do some kind of water bending with her fucking psychic powers to summon a typhoon or something to suck Jason into the lake, right? But no, what happens is her fucking dead father rises up, rises from his watery grave with a massive chain and pulls Jason into the fucking pot. I'm not fucking joking. That fucking happened in the end of this film. It's like, holy fuck, dude. I mean, I guess we should have seen it coming because some like that happened in what, part 1, part 2, but it's like, holy fuck, dude. Like that felt fucking crazy, man. Like, holy shit. And just because of that ending, I'm giving this film a 6.5 out of 10. The movie's mostly a like I said, a action movie jerk off, but the fucking finale for this film makes it worth watching. All right, guys, hold up to like stay tuned for next week when we review part 8, which is what, Jason Takes Manhattan, which is going to be the last Friday the 13th movie review that we do, because like I don't have any other Friday the 13th. All right, guys, peace.